Hi everyone, thank you for participating in this webinar and welcome to this Ask Me Anything session organized by Hello Tomorrow and Galp. I'm Marwan, Deep Tech and Innovation Consultant at Hello Tomorrow, and it's my pleasure to welcome you in that session. Today, the session will be about the Startup the Future program that Galp launched a month ago and for the third year. Our discussion will be mainly about the topic of AI and blockchain for enhanced fuel value chain. It's one of the 5 tracks that Galp is looking for in their challenge for this year, Startup the Future program. I will start with a brief introduction about Hello Tomorrow, and then I will hand it over to Joanna and Marco from Galp that will go a bit more in detail about Galp and Startup the Future program. And then we will finish for a dedicated time to answer to your question. Before starting, a very practical reminder about Livestorm. There is a chat button on the bottom right if you want to discuss about a topic. So feel free to ask your question there. And you also have a question tab, and you can ask your question here. And people that are attending will be also able to upvote the question if they feel interested by it. And we will take time at the end to answer it one by one. So let me start with Hello Tomorrow. Who are we? Hello Tomorrow, our goal is to accelerate deep tech startup and deep tech venture to help them to grow and to become scale up. We started this journey in 2011, and we are now 45 people coming from all over the world with real diversity in background and mixed science. And we succeeded in the establishment of a strong and worldwide ecosystem of startup, VC, and corporate. Our business model is kind of very unique and relies on 4 core businesses. The first one is the ecosystem, in which we gather the startup, the VC, and the corporate through some kind of different events, and the biggest one is our global summit. We also recently created our own venture capital, in which we invest directly or co-invest with a VC firm in the most promising deep tech startup, and in general, it's pre-seed or seed stage. Third core business is helping in organizing program to help startups to adjust their most critical challenge and to help to refine their business model. And last, the one that we are here today, is consulting services. It's tailored services that we propose to companies. And for instance, today with Galp, we organize for them the tailored challenge and to answer their need and to find the startup that is best fitting in terms of technology or business strategy. So this is all about Hello Tomorrow in short, and now I will hand it over to Joanna and Marco to present the Startup the Future program. And we also have, in the end, if needed, Prabhakar, that is our AI expert, and that will be able to answer your question more in depth if we have anything related to AI and that we can't really answer. So Joanna, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here and for joining us on this webinar. My name is Joanna. I am an Open Innovation Lead at Galp, and I would like to tell you a bit about our company for those of you who don't know us. So Galp is an integrated energy company based in Portugal, but with direct operations in a total of 10 countries. We are originally an oil and gas company, but we have also been shifting our business to incorporate renewables and new energies, and we have a strong focus on decarbonizing our industrial facilities. When it comes to innovation at Galp, which is the department at which me and Marco work at, our main goal is to build a portfolio of opportunities to drive the energy transition at Galp. We do this through different innovation centers. We have the Upstream and Industrial Innovation Center where Marco works at, that basically mirrors the business unit. What they do is intentionally reframe our core business related to oil while it still exists. So they explore different types of technologies, including carbon capture and utilization, green hydrogen storage, biofuels, and many other areas. And then we have Renewables and Commercial Innovation Center that, of course, focuses on innovation for renewables, mostly for solar and wind, and for the improvement of those types of technologies. And then also on our B2B and B2C activities, from smart energy solutions with projects related to flexibility and aggregation, to mobility, for example, with second life batteries or battery swapping technologies. And also we have another vertical targeted to retail and to the transformation of our stores located in our service stations all across Iberia. This means that we are, of course, a company that is focusing on many different topics when it comes to the energy industry. Our main focus areas right now are the ones that you see on the slide. So battery value chain, biofuels, carbon capture, renewable energies, mobility, energy and cost optimization, green hydrogen, and sustainable fuels, which are all areas that I mostly mentioned before. We are 34 people from 9 different nationalities spread across different locations. And we have many different projects ongoing with more than 55 startups that we are working with, and also with academic partners and laboratories that are exploring different technologies. And we also have our Upcoming Energies Open Innovation Platform, which is the platform with which we are launching the Startup the Future program, that basically manages all of the connections that we have with these outside entities, because Galp does not have an R&D facility. So everything that we do when it comes to collaboration is done with startups and with academia from the outside world. So that's what we do when it comes to innovation. This is why a few years ago, most precisely 3 years ago, we decided to launch our Open Innovation Program, the Startup the Future program, which was our first ever global innovation program fully ran by us. We got more than 200 applications on the first year from more than 50 countries, and we are already also testing solutions with startups that have applied. So we have already tested solutions in 3 Galp geographies, on Mozambique and Portugal and in Spain. And we intend to continue on this track and to hopefully find startups this year that we can also work with. Today, we have Marco here that is going to talk to you a bit about one of our verticals. This year, we have 5 different challenges, and one of them is AI and blockchain for enhanced fuels and value chain that Marco is leading. So now I will give the floor to Marco so that he can tell you a bit more about what we are looking for. Go ahead, Marco.
Thank you, Joanna, and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for joining us. This year we brought some digital solutions into our floor. Why? Because first of all, we think it's something that it's really necessary when you talk about sustainability. We listen a lot about decarbonization, sustainable fuels for the future, biofuels, etc. But all of these are very much related with digital solutions that can provide actually a sustainability from the business perspective. The first thing is these biofuels are usually produced based on residues, as you know. Most of them forestry residues, residues from agriculture, etc., but also municipal solid waste, which is a stream that you can all imagine that it's quite abundant, is something that can be used, this type of wastes, in order to produce sustainable fuels. Although there's always a difficulty here, and the difficulty is sorting, right? You cannot throw everything into a process of biofuel production, and I won't enter into too many details on that. But the thing is, actually, you need to do sorting, putting organic matter on one side, plastic on the other side, etc., especially to go towards the goals that European Union is placing today regarding waste. So waste valorization is the first topic that we're talking about here, and pretty much focused on sorting on the wastes that we have on our cities. How can we actually separate this type of waste in order then to valorize this waste into any type of processes? So at this stage, don't mind the process, just mind the sorting of the waste. We think that AI, sensor-driven technologies, etc., are the right way to go. Automatizing this type of processes. So actually, this is our main focus. Any solution that we see abroad, please bring us in. We are very interested on this type of solutions to work, of course, in partnership with other companies that are dealing with waste residues. On the other side, sustainable aviation fuels is something that it's coming along. Already in 25, we have a mandate for European Commission for airplanes to fly at least on 2% on sustainable aviation fuels. As you can imagine, this is a lot of sustainable fuels to blend in our airliners today. And this is always a difficulty. Why? Because in the end of the day, for that airplane to fly on sustainable aviation fuels, there's a lot on the value chain to come along. What's the type of feedstock? What was the type of process? Where did that feedstock came from? Was the process really sustainable and actually green in the end of the day? So we want to make sure that we are really doing the avoidance of those CO2 emissions in the end of the day. So one of the things that we want to address is the traceability and blockchain on this. Basically, by starting the process of producing that biofuel, in the end of the day, you actually need to make sure that's a fuel that is sustainable enough. So this is the second option that we would like to bring along in the end of the day. Why? Because in 25, the mandate is for 2%, but if in 2040, 2050, we are reaching 70 to, in some cases, there are already forecasts for 100% sustainable fuels. So actually, this is a brand new economy that it's coming along, and we need this traceability in order to avoid any type of confusion in the end of the day when we produce these biofuels and we fly completely green. And that's it on my side, Joanna. Back to you.
Thank you, Marco. Would you just like to maybe just tell us a bit more about what happened on last year's challenge?
Yeah, sure. Sorry,
even though it's different, it would be just interesting to.
Yeah, last year we had a very nice challenge regarding batteries. As you all know, batteries is the best way possible by far to store energy. We see today a huge growth on battery technologies. The main example that most of us see around is electric vehicles. Things develop a lot. We also, all of us, remember using phones that had some nasty batteries in the past. So Galp is always very interested in improving the energy storage capabilities. Last year, Inolith won the challenge. They had this inorganic battery electrolytes. Electrolytes are actually a bottleneck in the batteries, a bottleneck in the sense that they are quite expensive, so they raise a lot the cost of the battery. So one of the key areas is, of course, to reduce those costs. We have explored this solution with Inolith. We are still under discussion with them, and this was actually a very good winner last year and a very good solution that we find to work with Galp as well. Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you, Marco. So basically, we are here today to urge you all to apply to the program. Our main goal with launching this program is to actually find startups that have the potential to work with us and to to test solutions with us. And besides that, we will be able to give you access to our corporate venture capital team, and we will also fly you to Lisbon to attend the Web Summit 2024 with accommodation, flights, and basically meals just covered by Galp, so you can connect with even more corporates, eventual partners, VCs, investors, and just connect with everyone from the innovation ecosystem from all over the globe. So we are just very happy to have you here today, and we will like for you to just ask all of the questions that you have so that we can help you with the application and get you a confidence boost to apply to the program. Thank you. Now I will give the floor to Hello Tomorrow.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Marco, for this very insightful moment and presentation. I will just present you what's next, the timeline about the challenge. So as I was saying first, the challenge started mid-May, the 16th. Now we are in the phase of the Ask Me Anything webinar. Every 2 weeks or so, we are organizing an Ask Me Anything session on each of the track. If you are interested in any of the other track, I will advise you to go on our website, that is Startup the Future Challenge, and I will put you in the chat right now if you want to visit it. Up here. And you have access on that website to all of the other challenge and more detail on it. And if you need, don't hesitate to reach to us, and we will be pleased to organize a meeting with you. Then the application are going up to September 10th. We will close the phase of application at this date to let us a moment for application review and alignment call for all the startups that are meeting the criteria and very interested to work with Galp. We will organize call, and within this call we will be able to choose finalists. And on October 20, we will announce that the 5 finalists, one for each of the track, and all these finalists will be then trained to pitch and will be invited, as Joanna said, to the Web Summit in Lisbon to be able to pitch in front of many corporates and also Galp representative. So now let's jump on the last phase, the Q&A session. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask it in the chat, and I will also invite Prabhakar, that is our expert, and that have question already to discuss with Marco to refine the challenge, because he was in touch with some of the startup and ask question.
Thanks, Marwan, for inviting me on the Q&A session. I have a small point of discussion with Marco, as he was mentioning about sorting the waste using AI and sensor-based. Do you think of any other applications, like in terms of waste management or like supply chain with waste, or apart from sorting out the waste management? Is there any other applications that might be interesting from the point of view?
You say in opposition to AI to identify the waste, right?
Yes, but still using AI in the waste management system, like evaluating the percentage of waste, or trying with the new options of reducing the waste or recycling the waste process instead of like only sorting. Or is there any applications that you would be more interested as well?
No, there's no limitation to the application. What we really want to do is today, it depends on the geographies, but only a small amount of waste is going for recycling, okay? It's usually less than 50%, give or take, depending on the geography. The thing is, even with the recyclable part, you actually need to identify which are the parts that you can do a valorization towards fuels. And that's basically what we want to do. Do we want organic matter? Yes or no? So we need to actually separate this organic matter. Do we want plastics? We know that plastics are an issue. So we need also to separate those plastics. Different plastics have different valorization as well. So we want also to separate those plastics. So any type of technology that allow us to enhance this sorting, this is much better for us.
Okay. So quite interestingly, you put in terms of sorting, segregating the organic and the inorganic waste, or the plastics as well as and biopolymers and stuff. So it dives me to the next point, because AI is like more of a digital solution, but to segregate the waste, you need to have an interface with robotics. So is there a part of the track is also looking in part of like AI combined with robotics, or?
Yeah, when we say AI, we push to AI because we know that, imagine this, either we have a set of people with cameras on their head that they're just separating trash, and those cameras with infrared, for instance, allow them to know what type of plastic is that, and they put it on a bin, or we bring a solution that actually is robotized and slashes that. Nevertheless, any solution with a human arm or a mechanical arm, we actually need AI to analyze the wavelength of that type of rubbish, and then, of course, do the sorting itself. This is mainly the main part where we use AI. This is not, in my opinion, it's not going to be the so-called generative AI that we use today. This is more of an analytical way that allows us to say, yes, this is PVC or non-PVC, or what type of plastic are we dealing with. This will allow us to enhance this separation, to automate this separation, and to enhance also the production of these biofuels. Nevertheless, I would also like to for everyone to bear in mind that this is not limited. Okay, these solutions, if developed, are not limited to sustainable fuels. They can be used also. Some of this material can be used for other type of usage. So what we're doing here is something that addresses us, but this type of solutions might be helpful for other industries as well.
Yeah. Thank you for briefing on that. As you mentioned, utilizing visual, the cameras to sort out different waste, or trying to find out the segmentations of the waste. There is possibilities, and people have been using it in different areas. One is computer vision. So they do like object recognition. So like it can differentiate. One good example is that on cars, so self-driving cars. So it can differentiate people with object, and then with the vehicles and stuff. So in AI, it's possible that we can actually implement these kind of applications. And I believe there is lots and lots of startups working on computer vision in object segmentation, as well as object recognition. And yeah, that would be definitely a very good, interesting area to look into.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. I think we do not have any more questions, unless you have another, Prabhakar. Is it?
Yeah, we have discussed on the first topic on the bio waste. So just wanted to touch a little bit on, because you have a very good brief about the second topic on the supply chain using AI and blockchain technologies. So like in which stream process that you're looking, either in the downstream process or in the upstream process, or you see the whole value chain, the supply chain unit with blockchain? So can you get a bit more brief on that as well?
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the entire value chain, and as you said, it's just divided into chunks and pieces, right? And you need to be sure that the entire value chain is sustainable. So let's imagine this. You bring waste, now let's talk about forestry residues, coming from South America to be transported to Europe, to be then used in another biofuels plant or whatsoever. So you're losing track of your sustainability there. So at each one of the stages, you need to be sure that you actually are using a sustainable feedstock, a sustainable transport, and a sustainable process. And when you do this, you have different companies working together. And sometimes some of these companies don't want to share confidential information. So the best option is for you to, okay, with blockchain, you actually validate the upstream part, You validate the midstream part, you validate the downstream part, and in the end of the day, when you look at the entire chunk, you are sure that you have a sustainable process in the end of the day. This is something that sooner than later is going to be very much necessary on this type of production that we have today. And again, like in the previous example, this is not only exclusive for sustainable fuels. This will happen for other areas. So any solution that will be developed here with us will be also applicable to other industries.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I completely agree with your point of the future moving towards AI and fusing with blockchain, because the blockchain technology is there in the block for quite some time. So combining the powerful AI with the blockchain, it's going to revolutionize most of the industries. And I definitely see a good path towards energy as well as with oil and fuel systems as well. Thank you. Thank you for answering that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all the clarification. I think that we did all the questions that were asked. And so now we will close the webinar Ask Me Anything session to remind you that you can apply up until September 10th. If you have any question, don't hesitate to come to us. We will be pleased to have a meeting with you. And if you want to attend to any other webinar, you can have here the QR code of the upcoming webinar, and you have also the first webinar that we did on energy solution for emerging markets, and you can scan the QR code to have the replay and the question that have been asked at that moment. Joanna, Marco, do you want to add something?
No, all good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we just want to urge everyone to apply, and hopefully we will see you in Lisbon in November. Thank you all.
Thank you everyone to attend this webinar. See you soon. Bye.
Goodbye.